Okay. William, I mean, you saw a person shouldn't answer you saying you saw another. The Heinish Yuchai Bracha Zachas, the Shliach Tibur Varchos. It means he's obligating one bracha and the Shliach Tibur is making that bracha. But that, Shamas, and this person doesn't hear it. Alpha Pish Yodeh She'ez Bracha Mevarch HaShliach Tibur, even though he knows which bracha the Shliach Tibur is making. Me'achar Shlo Shama Lo Yana Achar Main. Since he didn't hear it, he shouldn't say Amen. Tavi Amen Yasoma, that it's a main, an orphan's Amen. Hagah. V'yish machmer and afilu ein mechayev also bracha ve'utan machmer even if he's not obligated in that bracha. V'yan amen, you shouldn't answer amen. Im ein yodeh be'ez bracha koyesh shliach tzibur if he doesn't know which bracha the shliach tzibur is up to. Zenami mikra amen. Someone's also called the amen somewhere even if he's not obligated in it, but he doesn't know where he's up to. This is from the Torah b'shem Tashbat. V'yan tin him and yes amen. You shouldn't wait with the answering of amen. El yan shekila bracha yan amen. Rather immediately once the bracha is finished, you should say amen. That's from the Berura. Royan Amen Ketzor shouldn't answer a short Amen. Ela Ruka Kesaska, it should be a little long. Kadesh Yuchalam Kel Malchnema, you should be able to say Kel Malchnema. Royarach Yosmidai shouldn't be lengthy about it more than necessary. Lefisha in Korea Sateva Nishmas Kishamarach Yosmidai, because the reading of the word is not heard when it's lengthening more than necessary. Alvisha, even though he knows, the Kagon Shu Maka Lefimi say to her bracha, for example, he recognizes it according to the order of the brachos. Or shechisim mishmorach, so bracha, if you forgot. So we know it's because of the order, or he's missing hearing just the end of the bracha, or sofa bracha, but you heard the beginning. This is from Mukhu in the Prin Gadim, Mishra Zav, Post Dalet, Ayin Shamod, and the Mishra Zav, Post Dalet, look there further. Okay, Mini Odea. And the Imi Odea Al Eza Bracha 1, if he knows which bracha is responding, what's the lanas for Kol brachos? He's able to answer by all brachos. I feel B'chazar Shtel Sibba, even by the repetition of Shtel Sibba. This one Nachal Tzvi, V'yeli Rabba, Ushari Chon Yal Chon Miper Shema V'lo Kataz Not Kataz. Kimin Shigvar his spouse is already dabbing Beina Machoy V'at when brachos is not on the main bracha. The Yishmer Chon Nisha Machmir B'chazar Shtel Sibba, those are the Machmir that are Machmir about Shtel Sibba, and they hold. This is from the Levush, the Magen Avraham, B'Shem Abach. The Mekima the Tikkun Rabbanan Shiyachar Shtil Tzibur Tefillah. Since everyone has said that they Shtil Tzibur should repeat the Tefillah, I feel Kulam Espal even though they already all davened. Ki'ilu Mechuyavim V'os Bracha Karina Lahu. As if he's obligated in that bracha as he called about them. Ein Lehem La'anos Afilu Yodeh Ve'eza Bracha Kaya Shtil Tzibur, and they shouldn't respond even if they know which bracha Shtil Tzibur is up to. Im Lo Shama Siyam HaBracha Meshtil Tzibur. Didn't hear the end of the bracha from Shtil Tzibur Gufa. V'yesh Lachos L'Zelach. I feel they should be concerned about this. I feel this from the Eli Rabbah. These are the Shema called brachos Shmonesa, to be careful to hear all the brachos of Shmonesa, and Piyash Tzibur Tzibur B'Guf for each one that's still Tzibur himself. We can belav even without this mitzvah l'kam and the Shema Birkas Shtel Tzibur. It's just a mitzvah to listen to intend to hear about the brachos of Shtel Tzibur. Ukvel b'sif Dalad, we said earlier in Sif Dalad. Abu b'diavad afilu im lo sham rak shiyada is a bracha mishmonesa brachos. Mishmonesa Messiah Shtel Tzibur. But b'diavad, if you didn't hear them, rather you just heard which bracha from the 18 brachos. Okay, Messiah including Yana Manish answer main. Kivin Shikavari Spalu Batsman he already prayed by himself. This is from the Ili Rabbah and the Maimon Mordechai. Miyad immediately, he should say it. V'tocha de dibur kedibur dami, and within the kedei dibur of, I guess, Shlomo Rabbi, it's like words. It's like speaking, so it all counts as one. It's just like he got that long. Bashir Tocha de Dibur, and the measure of Tocha de Dibur is Machlok as a poskim, it's a Machlok as a poskim. Yisham Shlosh Teva, some says 3 words, Yisham Arba Teva, some says 4 words. V'yosim is Eliyanakah, with more than 4 words, you shouldn't answer at all. The Havi B'chlal Menu, someone that's like a Menu is orphaned. With Tzibur Kamilan by congregation, we pass in the Hashikol Rova Tzibur Lanos Amen, until the majority of the congregation finishes Amen. Who are dying b'chol bracha still included in the bracha mutzal chalach and it's not the verb want to answer with them. I'm v'sif yud alef beralacha. Look at the shif yud alef and the beralacha. Post that sign. Shekila bracha. Let you finish the bracha. V'im shtil tzibur marach ben nigun shal v'imru amein. If the shtil tzibur is lengthy about the with the singing of v'imru amein, yom rakal amein yad. The kal should say amein immediately. Ki nigun have a hefsek because the singing is a hefsek. V'dafke marach harbi ben nigun. It's only if you're singing a long time with the song. This is from the Magen Avram. V'dafke le'inyan kaddish. It's only in regards to kaddish. Shegavar kila etzema b'hagash has already finished the main request. After tevis zman kariv, after the words of zman kariv and the close time. Or after tevis damir na'am, or after it says it was said in the world. But if the Shliach Tzibur would be lengthy about a different bracha at the end of it, with whatever song. Lo yana mein kolzman shlo sima etzem hateva. You shouldn't answer him until he hasn't finished the main word. Shal bracha of the bracha. Amein getzar short of main. V'nei shenir kadomich alav kamas. The reason why I shouldn't say short because it seems like it's on him as a burden. El kshiyuchol v'cho, rather he's able l'cho. Kizeo Pirusha Shalamein, because this is an option he's able to say Kelmal. Now, because this is the explanation of a main. Canal Vasabav, it says in Vasabav, who Rosh Teva Shalan, it's the Rosh Tevas, Kelmal, Naman, and a main. Shdel Tzibur Mevarach, so Shdel Tzibur makes the bracha. Not Shdel Tzibur, because there's Lishlo Bezet Das Achron, Orchos Chaim. You pick the Shdel Tzibur in this case in order that he should be included, go down to this, the opinion of the Orchos Chaim. This is in the berura. B'shem Rav Hai, shehu b'beis Yosef, the name of Hai B'tzman b'beis Yosef. This really the b'tzibur on the application shelo shama b'atzma bracha, and he holds by a congregation. You can answer him like he didn't hear himself. The bracha and sham. No, the shol means to remove, or like to be excluded, right? Right, because this means he's saying he could answer even if he didn't hear it. And here we're talking still see where it's making the bracha and you have to hear it. This person doesn't hear it. Pasha dafilu sham metchilu. It's pasha that even if he hears it originally, kol shelo sham himself, as long as he hears it at the end, it will still be a problem. V'hinei lefi ma'ashem avoid the common. According to explain later on, b'sim ratio gimel and simulation gimel shivit gimel. The heichos who wrote to the the bracha when he wants to make yotzei with a certain bracha zarach l'shmalas and metchilu that sof he has to hear from the beginning to end. L'chorah mechisim mishma afilu v'aktiv metchilas a bracha. Even if you're just missing just the beginning of the bracha, you should no longer be able to answer a main on it. What's the worst about this bracha than general bracha? He doesn't want to be yotzei klal. You would have to answer a main on that bracha even if you don't want to be yotzei. If so, then even if you didn't hear at all, the vade is for sure not going to be yotzei. But that it should also still be mutter. Elo Karchel, rather it has to be. The Kivan Shu wrote to the Tzeis Father, since he wants to be Yotze with it, Gua Soba open Shani Yotze, when he didn't know which is not Yotze, also Rabban Hanas and Lehather, Rabban asked you to say a man on it. And King Kagam Nami, so this case also where you didn't hear the beginning of it, it's Arafin, you shouldn't be able to answer a man, and then he did. The Ish Machmer, those that are Machmer, to say if you don't hear the bracha, you can never answer a man. I'm Mishnah Berlin, Mishnah Berlin, Kadam and Al, she was having the Kamanas Ramah who Bakola brachos. Then the intent of the Ramah is with all the brachos. King class of Kamer Hornum beferish as many of one of my beferish. Lo Gatas, not like Gatas. And Mikomakam Ladina Sarafian, still Ladina Nidian, for the line Nidian. And Yeshlo and Linhov Yesh, Bezak Yesham, Yesh Machmir Bezev. If there is to be no, you costume yourself like this, Yesh Machmir. Get back, Fataz, Magburum, because the Bachtaz, Magburum, Kulum, Kayakla, cost of all of them, that's one on the right. The Bishar Bracha She'ena B'Chavim L'Tzeis B'Hem, the other brachos you don't intend to be able to them. Mudzalan is a filo shama, yada is a bracha. What's the answer? Even if you didn't hear the bracha, you don't know which bracha. Chamagan Avram Be'eli Rab Zuta B'chayadam Mukach Yish L'Halka Yisham. Remember that? However, from the Magen Avram, the Eli Zuta, Eli Chayadam, it proved that there used to be a custom like the Yishmach Mem, and the Yishmach Mem, and to not make a bracha and say amen. But near the Shev Al Tas Adif, it seems that sitting and not responding is better, meaning don't do anything. Kiyesh, or not acting is better. Kiyesh Onish Al Odin Amen, because there's a person, a punishment for someone who says an amen. Yisomar Kamoshem Chazal says, V'gam ki chaylam shalabach, and also because the whole army of the Bach, Vataz, Humei Yerushalmi, it's all brought from the Yerushalmi, Shehuva Vataz, which is brought from Vataz Ein Sham, the Gersaso, who when his Gersa was Din Diyasve Mevarcha, these that are sitting to make a bracha. The Ein Raya Kokach, it's not such a Raya. Shuvri Yisiv Shagra, Argar Gersa is Din Diyasve Mevarcha, these that are sitting to make a bracha, which mashma that they want to be able to. Okay, but any raya is not such a raya. Could be like the Shulchan Aruch. Okay. Okay. The any raya kokaf. For sure, you see the Taz where they found the Taz. Ayin Sham look there. Oh, sorry. Sure, you see the Shagab Be'ur similar. Further they found that Gra is hinting this. And afterwards they found the help of the Shami Shivitlas for Orzura. Hanid Pas Michalish in the Orzura, which has been new printed. Shekosov came behead. He says it straight out that the Lafiga Kasenu that according to arguers in Railazah, there's no proof to this. Near it, and I think the acre is like arguers, so Ayin Sham look there. Im came Pasha is that who Tam Rashi Vitosus Shlochilka, because if so, it's Pasha. This is why the reason Rashi and Tosus didn't argue about this. Miyad Shekila, immediately when he finishes, the person should say Amen. I'm Mishna Bro, look at Mishna Bro, Shekas, the Shir Miyad who Tocha the Dibur, that we said the measure of immediately is Tocha the Dibur. Whom you Prima Gadim, Shekas, the near low, that seems this from the Prima Gadim, which says it seems to him. The low heavy Riley then brings a proof to this that it's that much. The Lachore is that Pasha Lokach, and the Chor is not so Pasha. The Hine Mekordin Zev, because the source for this then. When the Ovamei of Dram Hamub Beis Yosef, it's sourced from the Merit of Dram, which is brought in the Beis Yosef. Visham Kasazel, the Shon there writes this language. Yesh Mefarshim Amen, some of those explain that in Amen, so much of the Hachas Man Ruba should see him a bracha, that after a long time after he finished the bracha on that Amen, Al Das, most of the bracha, he said Amen about that bracha, on the condition of that bracha. I found the Shon the end of his language. Mashal Lachar Mizad, the little Talia Shira B'Chadei Dibur, it's Mashal Lachar from this, that he's not based this on if he said a Kedei Dibur. The Afshal the Ramah cost the cost of Miyad the Chako. It's possible that the language that the Ramara that he said immediately pressed him into saying that it meant Kedei Dibur. Well, he nekar din lachara kashan. In regards to the main din lachara, it's a question. Don't we pass in that until it finishes the main for the majority of the people answering. Adayan lo kal yabrach the bracha still hasn't finishes. Look at the lakam with Seftas. It says later on Seftas Yud Aleph. Over Simon Kov Samach Zayin, Sifta Zayin, and Simon Kov Samach Zayin to Zayin. But in its pass in regards to breaking the bread. But even in a place they're not being fulfilling their obligation to bracha, with the bracha, Namid still the din is this way. Ayin Sham the Prima Gadim, look there in the Prima Gadim. But Nafkamina, and we don't make it split any kind of outcome from this. Whether it drags on the answering of the people responding much more than Kedei Dibur or not. And it has to be because it's considered as if he's standing still in the middle of the bracha, but still as long as he hasn't answered Amen. B'imkein who adin b'inyanenu so with our topic leaning ishichidim regards a single person. She wrote to Lanas Amen. He wants to answer Amen. I'll aid the bracha about a certain bracha. V'nim shachach or bracha and it was dragged after the bracha. Harbe Yosef Mikadei Dibur more than a Kadei Dibur. Gam Ken Yehi Mozilanis still should be at Mutter to answer Amen. Oh, Dafilu Matibri Asfilu Kulam Takef Lahanas Besocha Dei Dibur. Even if the entire congregation immediately starts answering Amen within the Kadei Dibur. Shal Berachas Mavarach of the blessing of the Mavarach. Mizal Ona Hu Bavada Yosef Mikadei Dibur. And this person answered was for sure after Kedidibur the bracha of the Mavarach. The Halohe Mitzar Mahaska Basocha Kedidibur, because weren't they the people who responded able to Mutate start at the beginning within Kedidibur? Do walk upon him shtei tables achar Mavarach, which is at the very least two words after the Mavarach. The Shir Hamein Halohu Kedei Lomer Kel Malchnaman, and the Shir of Hamein isn't enough to say Kel Malchnaman. Im came a melech sheyasku who kodem shehem yuklu. If so, then when he automatically when he starts before they finish, who yosem kedei dibur, it's more than kedei dibur. V'yishlom with the sham shani, you can answer. There's different. The shaonim harbe anashim when they're responding of many people a main achar bracha, main after a bracha. Ubavadi yishmihem kama anashim she'eschilu lanas a main tol kedei dibur. I'm sure there's many people who started to answer the main within the kedei dibur achar bracha without the bracha. Therefore, even someone who answers the main after this, each one of them is going to be his friend. But don't read the Maidam reading Beshua, similar to what said in Beshua, Lanyan Edis, Mibas Edis. Daplam and Bezam and Aleph. Each one of the Edis was within the next one, and therefore was fine. Ubenazarish Berg Dalam, Talis, and Red Nazarish Berg Dalam, I'm Shamla there. Still. The person who's kind of breaking the bread doesn't have to wait until it ends. The majority of the people responding. The minastam in the steel kulam or zech. Assumably, they're not starting all of them one after the other. Rakma skilim take about they started immediately. And Misha Marfa and Yosemite, the one who lengthens about his man responding more than necessary. In Sarah Hamzin Love, you don't have to wait for him. Mashenk in Benyanin was not true in our topic, being shechid with a single person. Shavot Salana is the main after bracha, one to say the main after bracha. So Shaloli shows Yosef Mikadei Dibur after bracha, you have to not wait for more than a Kadei Dibur after a bracha. Okay. And then nearly the Havi Katas Ryan seems to me that I could bring a little bit of proof, the different prima to the words of prima gada. Mehem Damrina from that. Mehad Damrina Beshuas Tamid Vav Manalas. This is Beshuas Tamid Vav Manalas. The main Bo Shua, Bo Kabbalah, that a main in it is a Shua, in it is a Kabbalah, Svarim accepting of the words. Bo Hamanus Svarim is the believing of the words. In it, Ein Shamak there. Could the Nifzak be there? It says in your idea, Simrei Shtas, Ein Shamak there very well. With Simrei Shlamet Zion, Sif base. But he hated the Indian Amen, Shu Kabbalah Svarim, just like my Amen, which is accepting the words. Mavad the Torah Land the main, Tolka they do. We for sure have to say, the main within today the work of the Mukhal British Perak they now there's doesn't break down they now it's nine Shama Gemara Vera and now Sion Alef. Im Kane, who was him in a native so to an art topic lane in a main shoe Haman Savar in regards to a man which is believing the words, who could use of Beit Yosef says the Beit Yosef. So Klios Davko but Tolka de Dibur has to be specifically within Kedei Dibur. Then you're like, yes, this seems my humble opinion, but you're on our topic. According to this, if one person waited until and didn't answer until the majority of the finishes the majority of the responders to answer, and as the responding was afterwards within Kedei Dibur, shall and he also they're responding, you'd start if you should still combine with them. Someone shouldn't be an amen yisoma. There is a delve into this. According to this specific later on in Sif Yud Aleph, that before he finishes the amen and he has the amen for the majority of the congregation, who according to our words, even after they finish, it would also be okay. However, according to what it says, the reason on the Shulchan Aruch, in the Chudash Kever, and in the Chudash Kever, B'Sefer Magdiburim, Ataknum lakaman nichalikol. And in Igor and in the Maggiburim, and it was going to copy them later on. So everything makes sense, and therefore it wouldn't be a question on that Shulchan Aruch there. Okay. And Yeshkutas Me'olim Shemar, there's a few of the responders which are being lengthy. Yosemi died, this is back in the Shulchan Aruch, more than necessary. Ein Zarach Lemvarach Hamzil Hem, the Mvarach doesn't have to wait for them. Let's see the Berurah. Let's see the Mishna Berurah. Ask me on a few of the responders. I'll roll them, but the majority of the congregation, is obligated to wait. We'll for the whole prayer. This is from the Zel Kuliyamas, according to everyone. I am the Eliyarab. Look at the Eliyarab, Sim Kaf Hechas, Sivkat Namazayan, Shu Hechmer Biyosmi, is very much more about this. Lola Haskell with Bracha Shalachara Achian. Amen. You shouldn't start the bracha afterwards until they say Amen. V'chei Mekadesh Lola Haskell Yisparach. Similarly, the Kadesh shouldn't start Yisparach. Achiana or over Amen Yeshmiram until the majority said Amen Yeshmiram. This is Shama Daily Rabba. V'chei Kol Gai Gavin. Similarly, all cases like this. We've understood Rabbi men are many sins. Harbi Anoshim Shalom B'Zeh. Many men stumble with this. Ishim Mispalnim L'Snei. Amud, when they pray in front of the Amud, Shechotfim Lahaskal Bracha Shalachan, they start to quickly start the bracha afterwards, take up after Siyam Bracha Shalachan, immediately after finishing the bracha before it. Ve'im Amtina B'nei Esayim Klam, they don't wait Klala, they don't wait at all in between. V'ayim B'Shari Tshuva, look at the Shari Tshuva, Shehevi Shezeh, Ma'akiv Afadyevi says, he brings this is Ma'akiv and B'Dyevi, also Shuv Lahanas Amein Alam Mekiv, and it's further also to answer Amein on that, Mekiv and Shehiskil Bracha Acher, since he started the next bracha. Ein Zarach HaMavarach, the Mavarach doesn't have to wait for them. Husha Bracha Ein L'Chova L'Kol Ishmael, the bracha is not obligated on everyone to hear. Avalim Motzi Rav V'Zei Dechavot, but if you Yotzi the public their obligation. This from the Magen Avram. Bein Shu Shtei Tzibur, whether it's Shtei Tzibur or Shar Mavarach or Dov Mavarach, Zarach Hamz and Afal Al Atom, you have to wait even for the people who are making mistakes. Shem Umaricham B'Amen or Lenkelim Amen, Kadesh Yishmu B'Yetzu L'Dei Chova, in order that they should hear and be able to their obligation, Gam Him Brachos, also them in the brachos. Test. Shemar Yichan they lengthy. Vim Hamiyat Shalosimu Einam Marichum Yosmedai. If the few people which didn't finish, they're not lengthy more than necessary. Ella Hasharov whom Sham. Just the majority who Shem so just the majority said it very quickly. Is in this berura. Chayv Hamzim al you have to wait for the minority. Mistame and Tzarach let's close bracha, but assuming you don't have to. Based on this, you can assume that if the majority is done, they did it the normal speed, and the other people is slow. But if they did do it really fast, then you do have to wait for the normal speed going people. This is from the Mr. Maimon Mordechai. This is what we say from Maimon Mordechai. Okay. Ein Zarach HaMavarach, the Mavarach wouldn't have to wait for those people. The next berura. I'm Mishnah Berurah in the Brachos Shemotzi Dechova. Look at the Mishnah Berurah in regards to the Mavarach which Shemotzi other people. You have to wait for all of them. Who may Magen Avraham? That's on the Magen Avraham. Belinian Chazar Shliel Tzibur in regards to the repetition of Shliel Tzibur. Shalanu. Our Shliel Tzibur. Usually has been Achronim. There's opinions on the Achronim. You have to wait for everyone. The after Kulam Ben Alanu Bekiyam, even though we're all Bekiyam, Mikol Malcolm with Kavar Tiknul Chazal left Lanu that even the Chazal is already set up for even for us. And Chazal B'Siv Gimel said earlier in Siv Gimel. After the Hubachal Brachos Chayovin, it's possible to put it in the bracha which is Chayovis. I'm the Rabbi, look the Rabbi, Seven Kaf Kafkas, and Seven Kaf Kafkas, the Frisham, Free Makadash, and Free Magadan, the Frisham, Free Makadash, and Free Magadan. Yud, in the Shulchan Aruch. The ayin the kam look later on in the Simon Kofach Vav Siddad. The Masha Gazavni Sham Mishra we go to him Mishra B'Shem Rabbi Agor the name of the Eli Rabbi in the world. Yechavin Daitosh intend its mind for the whole brachos. The Avagav the kam on the Shdil Tibra in the Motzi, even though we pass on the Shdil Tibra can't be Motzi. El Dafka Mishin Abaka only specifically someone who doesn't know how to say the prayers properly. Shani Yachosh is Balu. Here's different that he prayed. El Shoshach below his group he forgot and didn't mention this. Mention Yal Biel. L'chein Afabi Shu Baki. Therefore, even though he's a Baki, Shdil Tibra Motzi, the Shdil Tibra can be Motzi. Look at the Barakon that's right. The Mutu Shiatu is better that he should go back and pray himself. The Idno Lab Kulad Yachal Lechavim the Dice Lishmom Mishnil Tibur nowadays not everyone is able to intend the year from the Mishnil Tibur Rosh Gatzov from beginning to end. Mishem Levava Yefna V'lo Yishmam Mishnil Tibur maybe his heart will turn and not hear from the Mishnil Tibur. It's the Milos whichever words Ham Akvam it's Tefillah which are Akvam in the prayer. Because of a Bach the Eli Rabbi the Bach writes in the Eli Rabbi the Imah Mishnil Tibur Darko Lavli of Milos if the Mishnil Tibur is normal to absorb words. Midina also to smoke Hashdil Tibur, to Midina also to rely on the Hashdil Tibur. Avachayv is spelled after he's obligated to pray himself. Mirosha itself from beginning to end. Vayim B'Sefer Berka Yosef, look at Berka Yosef. She's a Masik, which concludes, Shalo Yomer Oz Modim Derban. You shouldn't say that in Modim Derban if you're hearing from the beginning to end. El Yikav the Shlomo Mishnil Tibur, this intent to hear from the Mishnil Tibur, Hamod Shub Omer, the Modim which he says. And shouldn't say your own Modim Derbanan. But in the Shanogan Eza and Chazanim nowadays when they have the men of certain Chazanim Lomer Hamod B'Tchilas of the last say the Modim first quietly. They have this is Pashit. So they first say Modim and Alhamdulillah very quietly so that the congregations can say they are one. Lo Yuchol it says Tefillah Salai the Shdil Tibur. You're now no longer able to fill your obligation, your Tefillah with through the Shdil Tibur. This is from the Efshud the Yomer Elu Tevas V'Lachash from the Yatzma. Maybe he'll say he could say these words quietly on his own. Don't be the Mako, Prima Gunam, similar to what the Prima Gun is Mako, Lanian and Megillah, or the Megillah, Lamer, but Atzma, is David to say himself whichever words, by heart. Balachas quietly, Shlomo, Shama, some if you're still we didn't hear them still too, but maybe you could say them yourself. I don't know for which reason they came out to them this minhag. After no even though the congregation has the custom to say Modim Derbanim then. Mikom to be lost on Niskan Malahoti Mishin a Baki, still the prayer was set up to be out to someone who's not a Baki. But Torah Cholema Kopanim Kitzas Bekol, you have to say at the very least a little bit of the voice. Yuchol Ishma Asar B'Neyam Ha'omdim Seviva, that he should be able to hear the 10 people who are standing next to him. Ow. Ich habe da jetzt stellen ist mein Begonnen. I'm a Polish with Givega, look give a Jager, because of the Zalashon language. I'm the Lush and Toast, look at the language, the Toshus, Varosh, the Mash, the hedges who seem straight out. I faith the low government philosophy even when he didn't finish his prayer. Ain't Vain Sorach, he doesn't have to repeat the Rosh, it's Fila Ella the Chos of Ritzay, rather he beginning goes back to Ritzay. And therefore, okay, Mikomagam Eno Chos of Yish, Eno Choser. Still, he could just not go back. V'yishma Shel Tibur HaKol Tefillah, and hear the Shel Tibur the whole prayer. Ayin Sham look there. Uchai Gavna L'chor Ma'afzik Miyad Ve'eno Gomer Tfilaso, and in this kind of case, L'chor, we should just stop and don't finish your prayer. Kiva the Ritzol of the Taste for Shmiyah Shel Tibur, since his intent is to be Yotzi, he wants to now be Yotzi with the Shel Tibur. V'meila Masha Gomer Tfilaso have a Brachal V'Tala, and then automatically when he finishes his prayer, it's going to be a Brachal V'Tala. Well, and yes, I do and it seems my helmet in this kind of case, the insar the Chaz the Rosh Rach would say that you wouldn't have to go back to the beginning, you would have to go back to say, After the Yom Himachi, Shliach Tzibur will say, if it's possible, we should just wait until the Shliach Tzibur gets to it. Say, Misham Ve'elef L'chabim Tvilas from Shliach Tzibur, from then on we can just attend for the Shliach Tzibur. Ain't Tzarech L'Shema called Tfilu Me'otra, so if you wouldn't have to hear the whole prayer from beginning to end. I come to Shlomo at the end of his language. I'm Biran Mochamba, so for Rosh Hashanah, Masha Avil Mi Rishalmi. Look at the round at the end of in the Mochamba to the end of Rosh Hashanah, what he brings the name of the Rishalmi, V'yesh L'chalik, and there is to make a difference between that. Look there. Yeah, Olive. In Ba'oda, the Mitzvah Siyam Shliach Tzibur Bracha. If all the people a person is praying, the Shliach Tzibur finishes his bracha. V'kolim shekol sa aniyas amen in Pivro v'Tzibur Siyam Zeh Tfilas. Okay. In Ba'oda, while the person is praying, the Siyam Shliach Tzibur the bracha, the Shliach Tzibur finishes the bracha. V'kolim shekol sa aniyas amen before finishing the responding of amen in Pivro v'Tzibur Siyam Zeh Tfilas. This person finishes his prayer. Onay my amen, he answers them on amen. So if the majority of the congregation is still saying Amen, he could say Amen. Haga. Va'afilu im lo shama bracha karl, even if he didn't hear the bracha at all. Brak shomeh tzliba onim Amen. You had to just see the congregation saying Amen. V'yodei ali is the bracha kai. He knows the bracha is going on. Yan and you should answer with him. Claim b'kadosh v'kedusha baruch hu. Similar to kadosh kedusha baruch hu, we should respond with him. Because of shekalsa, and before it finishes, Rosalam means to say, after the Nevar specific class, even though it's clear and explained in the specific class, the Torah Lahanas the main Miyaj Shkila Bracha means you have to answer immediately when the bracha is over. Shila Vacha Yabik Ona main believe bracha. It's like if it's not so, it's like saying a bracha bracha klal. Mikamaka Macha and Mokol Zadaim Mim Piro Batzibur still here. If he hasn't finished the majority of the congregation, Shabbat it's fine. Mishum Danias the main Gam came b'chol bracha. The answering of main is also included in the bracha. Kishoni amen havi kamosh yayu gom ramat etzem bracha. When you say amen, it's as if they're completing now the main bracha. Ataz kol kataz argues the possibility that filu kilu kol tzibur nanos even in that even if all the entire congregation finished answering. Motor Gam Kananos Imhaya take of Achrim is able to immediately and also to answer if it was immediately after them. The Chalushi Rebbe Kiva Eger, the Sefer Magen Geburim, and the Chalushi Rebbe Kiva Eger in the book of the Magen Geburim is Gimel Shulchan Aruch Eger the Shulchan Aruch that it can only be a row of tzibur. I'm Beralacha. Look at the Beralacha. Oz Tezayin. Siyam. They finished. This guy finished his prayer. Before the majority is done, wrote to me to say after Yularatzin before he got to after Yularatzin. Kabar Amar Tachanunim Haragul Behem. He already says the Tachanunim, which is he's the custom in them. Because it was similar in Kaf Beis. It says earlier in Kaf Beis. With Mishnah Berurah of Kan Alef and Mishnah Berurah of Kan Alef. The Afilu, even if he didn't hear the bracha at all. Ugam can the different Makam is also according to the words of Makam. Lo Chidish Rak Mashakaz of Yodei Ali is the bracha. He doesn't. In no chiddush except with what he says, and he knows about which bracha it is. The ka'azul b'zeh l'shita so shita seilel. He's going with this according to the shita earlier. He hears the amen and he knows what bracha it is. You're going to go to the shita earlier and sif ches b'agav. The im enu yodei is a bracha koy. Then if he doesn't know what bracha he's on, who b'chol amen yisoma, then counts as amen yisoma. Shamei tzibur. He hears the congregation. Who adin im shamashi? The same thing would be. This is from the Magen Avraham. Im shamashi yachad on them. And he hears a single person saying amen. V'yodei is a bracha. So he knows his bracha is going on. The only mother should answer with him. We're not going to leave it tzibur mishum the higher mechaber tzibur. And he picked the case of the congregation because that's the mechaber son congregation. But I forgot the mechaber in a material kodim shekol amen be rov. Even though the mechaber only allows it if before It finishes the amen from the majority of the people. But having a few people doesn't help. This from the Rosh Hashanah. Hainu mishum the miyad legabi rov had the command less. That's because the miyad in regards to the majority is if it's not there. Or for other reasons. If there's not a congregation at all, rather just a single person, you can answer with that single person. So meaning, yeah, you could answer with Yochel because you can't. He's not command lesed. That was from the Lush Yisrael. Similarly by Kaddish, the kol shalosim marov. That means by as long as it hasn't finished the majority of the congregation, not so let's respond. Only moim, you can respond with them. Even though you didn't hear anything from the Shtel Tibur. V'ayim b'simen and vav. Look at Simen and vav. Mishnah verse of cotton tas and Mishnah verse of cotton tas. For Simen and Zion of cotton bays and Simen and Zion of cotton bays. V'ayim beralacha dibir maskul l'kodem b'sofo. And look at the beralacha dibir maskul l'kodem at the end of it. Let's see the final Shulchan Aruch and Mishnah Berurah. See the beralacha. Hona main lo yagbi a kol yos me'mavarach. When it says a main shouldn't raise his voice more than the mavarach. Mishum zechsev, the Gemara says, Mishum zechgadol Hashem, it says, praise Hashem with me. Niram mashmal yachtav, and should raise his name together. Nira dehu adin, and therefore same level voice. Nira dehu adin lein in Baruch Hu, same thing can be by Baruch Hu, or Baruch Hu Zimon, or regards to Baruch Hu Zimon. This is from the Mebrachos Memhei Aman Alef. Ayin Shem the Gemara. Look at that in the Gemara. Lo yagbiel and yos mevarach. The person shouldn't raise up his voice, the respondent, more than the mevarach. On your redeem, come on also by our email is that further it seems that if he's in time with raising his voice, call lo kedei lezari amen is in order to like awaken the awaken the nation. Shianu gam him. They should also respond. Motzah that be motzah. I'm the common similar reish tasvav. Look later on in similar reish tasvav. Says gimel v'ayin shamod. Look there further. The acha katanim b'nei chinuch. That's the little kids which are people of chinuch. Tzarach lanas amein acha brachos. You have to answer amein after the brachos. V'acha shota in lanas amein after shota. You shouldn't say amein. The lab bar mitzvah kalal is not a person of mitzvahs at all. The prima gondom shikos v'acha chevish v'shota shigva the lishnahu. And the prima gondom writes after a chevish or a shota. It's just a flow of language. The cherish which is speaks and can't respond and can't hear is for sure obligated in the mitzvahs. This is from the mouth of the shekel. And after not women that made a bracha on the mitzvah seish as mangama, yuchalan and tamein you could answer amein is from the prima god. Kolim shekol sani yasamin. Before I finish the end yasamin, I have Mishnah Berurah. Look at Mishnah Berurah. Mashka sasam m'shein like Taz. Just send the name of the Taz. It's for also his logic is the habachom mevarach shtar ha'onim. Because with all blushers, the needs the responder. Lahamtanad shisayim mevarach. You have to wait until the mevarach finishes. But kan havi aniyas amein shal osam sheshamu habracha v'bracha arichta. And here is this answering of amein of those that heard the bracha and a long bracha, or like a bracha lifta, or like a bracha lifta, like a long bracha. V'shabihu yachalanas amen take abachor siyam gamkein amen. And it also makes, and it's good that you're able to answer amen even after they're finishing also amen. Meaning the bracha ends when they end, so they ended, then you could say afterwards. And the writes about this in this language. When you're linear side to low kosher meaning, it seems to my humble opinion it's not a question at all. That even the Machaber holds that if you heard the bracha blow on amen, you just didn't answer amen, until the entire congregation finished saying amen. Then you could say amen. Rak within a Machaber Myrish Osig Obit Filosa, rather within of the Machaber doing what he's still dealing with his prayer, because you see a Machazan a bracha, when the Chazan finished the bracha, Misvara ein Yochalan amen, and the Misvara you shouldn't be able to say amen. The Hefsik with Dibur, because he's made a Hefsik with a Dibur, he was saying his prayers. Bentim a bracha and Yasamim, between finishing the bracha and they saying of amen. Mishum Haki Laman Atrumas Adeshin, from this the Trumas Adeshin learned. Misugi the bracha, the Imsiyam Tfilasaf, and the Sugi of bracha, that if he finishes prayer to Kodim Shekol Saniyat Amen, before finishing the answer, the responding of amen. Moreover, even the majority of the congregation, the Yochalan, so you could answer. Given that Yes Amen, the Tzibur McLeod Tim Bracha, then since the answering of Amen of the congregation is included in the end in the finishing of the bracha. Havikilu Ashav Sim Mishleil Tzibur Bracha, if now the Tzibur finished the bracha, will have stick with Dibur and then make us have stick with the Dibur. Masha Inki Mishkil Mir Marachim, which is Marifim, which is not true because of the few people which are just being lengthy. Lo Mikri Sim Bracha, it's not called the ending of the bracha right now. And it's automatically considered a hefsek when he made a hefsek with his prayer and saying the words. I can understand the end of his language. Because it's a question to me according to him, I'll go upon him at the very least. If he finished his prayer equal with the majority of the congregation, should also be very good to answer amen immediately. The shum hefsek bein aniyas tzibur amen. Because now there was no hefsek between the answering of the Tzibur Amen, the Husiyam Bracha, Ubein Amen Shalom, which is the end of the bracha, and between his Amen. So even if he finished immediately equal to their Amens, and then he should be able to say Amen afterwards. So their Amen is the end of the bracha, now he didn't say anything, should he say Amen, he'd be able to say Amen. Even why needs the majority to finish before it finishes the majority of the congregation? To answer amen. It's possible it's not because it's not able to be medak, to be exactly to finish right when they finish the rove and not before that. And then if he didn't say any word after the amen, that's okay. And it's still quick to answer that way. But if Sigmund reads a different answer there. Still Sibur Mistama in Mountain Rak Ad Rov Sibur on it. Amen. Because the Still Sibur is assumably only going to wait until the majority of the congregation is answering Amen. Below Marich and Yosef, we dine on the people who are doing more than necessary. Canal, as we said earlier. And afterwards going to start the next bracha. When the Leila Shuveni Yachalan is Amen, and automatically he's not going to be able to answer Amen. No brachas or kademis in the bracha earlier. The Kavar Overlook is already passed. Ubahach Nichagam Kush is now, this is also in answers the question earlier, because now if you finish the majority finished their amen, you finish your one if they finish their amen, but the still is already, you can't say amen because the still is already started to answer the next bracha. Meaning the few different I go on Rabbi Giveger, behold according to the words of the Rabbi Giveger, where the Magen Rim Gam Koshes Kaddish Manusha and Baruch, also Kaddish Kedusha and Baruch, in Nicholas the Beis we come to a show Mother Series Tibor Tibor Shalom Kaddish Kedusha, found the congregation saying Kaddish Kedusha and Baruch. After of the Tibur Kamar Rak Miyat Gomlim, right? Even though it's the majority of 7, just a few people are finishing saying, I'm still able to respond with them. In the style of questions of Primagadam, it leaves or moves away the question on the Primagadam. The Elbasim and Anvav earlier in some of the Vav Sepal, Anvav, and Sepal Hagal. Because of Sham the Mishabal, the basic that says right there. If someone comes to the show, the Shamesh Kal on him, a college year, the college answering Kaddish, Lu Maflik, Sham Nafkamina Bain Im Shama the Robagal or Nid or Rakamid, and it doesn't make a difference there whether he said between or if you heard it from the majority of the congregation or just a few of them. Bilu Haklu Shastak or Ramad, if however here the Ramad is quiet, Lamakabri, to the Makab and agrees with him. Mashur the Oizi Le Bedin is Mashi agrees with his law. Abalafita Mayam Yikab according to the reason for the Vega and the Magna Hiburim. So then it makes sense. So the mice are and the mice in museum. The carpenter should wear the gun and above there for the mission versus gun above. You have to the cultural see over to. I made a case in where it hasn't finished the majority of the congregation, but if it did finish the majority, it's not clear. That's done.